So I host a show on TSN called Off the Record, and we had a guest on the show named Stéphane Richer, two-time Stanley Cup champion, two-time 50-goal scorer. I never met him before, but I knew he'd struggled with depression in the 1990s. This was in 2009, and I had never spoken publicly about my own struggles with depression, which at that point had gone on for 10 years. And I thought, it'd be an interesting question to ask him. How you doing? So I said to him, Stéphane, is it okay if I ask you about your depression? I don't want to ambush you. You don't owe me anything. You can say no. And he thought about it, and I said, look, when I throw it out there, I'll mention that I too have suffered with depression. And he thought about it, and there was this long pause, and he said yes. We went on the air, we talked for maybe 1 minute, and that changed my life because of the reaction we got. Because the next day, I started seeing emails, almost all from men, almost all saying, first time in our lives that we have seen two reasonably normal guys talking about their struggles with depression without seeming ashamed, without seeming embarrassed, and without seeming weak. And because of that, these people were empowered to reach out to me, a stranger, someone they don't know, and tell their story for the first time. These people had never gone for help. But because they had heard Stéphane and I talking about this, they reached out to me and they decided they would go for help. And one story in particular, to make a long story short, he was in the process of taking his own life when Off the Record on that day was on. And he heard us talking about it. He reached out to me. We went back and forth. I convinced him finally, without knowing, and this wasn't me being a hero. I didn't swim out to the middle of Lake Ontario and save him. Without knowing that he was struggling, somehow I got through to him. And he thought, okay, you know what? I can always kill myself in 2 years or 3 years, but I'm going for help. And he went for help. And 6 months later, he messaged me that he got his life back. And a year and a half later, he sent me a picture of him and his newborn baby on his lap. Now that is the power of sharing, and that is the power we all have inside us. If you share, you will impact someone's life.